Old woman secretly saves orphaned wolf cubs, but years later, they return and do this. The wind whispered through the pines, carrying the scent of damp earth and wild sage across the vast Wyoming wilderness. The sun, a fiery orb dipping towards the horizon, painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, casting long shadows across the rugged terrain. Nestled amidst the towering pines and aspen groves, a small cabin stood as a solitary sentinel, its weathered wood blending seamlessly with the surrounding landscape. Inside, Martha, a woman with silver hair and eyes as deep and blue as the mountain sky, stirred a pot of stew simmering over the wood-burning stove. Martha, a woman in her late 70s, had lived in this remote cabin for over 40 years. Her husband, John, a wildlife photographer with a passion for capturing the untamed beauty of the West, had built the cabin with his own hands, a testament to their shared love for the wilderness. They had lived a simple life, their days filled with the rhythms of nature, their companionship a quiet symphony of shared passions and unspoken understanding. But John had been taken too soon, a tragic accident claiming his life while on a photography expedition in the nearby mountains. Martha, her heart shattered by his loss, had retreated further into the wilderness, finding solace in the solitude of her cabin, her only companions the whispering pines, the soaring eagles, and the occasional deer that ventured into her clearing. She had learned to live off the land, her garden providing fresh vegetables, her traps yielding the occasional rabbit or squirrel, her fishing rod a lifeline to the trout-filled streams. She had become a part of the wilderness, her spirit as resilient as the pines that weathered the harsh winters, her heart as vast and untamed as the landscape that surrounded her. Her days were filled with a quiet routine, a rhythm that echoed the cycles of nature. She would wake with the dawn, the first rays of sunlight filtering through the gaps in the wooden shutters. She would brew a pot of coffee, the aroma filling the small cabin with a comforting familiarity. She would tend to her garden, her hands calloused but gentle as she coaxed life from the fertile soil. She would gather firewood, her axe splitting the logs with a practiced ease. She would read by the light of the kerosene lamp, her mind wandering through the pages of well-worn novels or the corridors of her memories. The evenings were her favorite time, the fire crackling in the hearth, casting dancing shadows on the walls. She would often talk to John, her voice a soft murmur in the stillness of the cabin, sharing her day, her thoughts, her loneliness. She would gaze at his photographs, displayed on the walls, each one a window into his soul, a testament to his love for the wild beauty that surrounded them. She would trace the outlines of his face with her finger, her heart aching with a longing that time had not erased. But even in her solitude, Martha felt a deep connection to the world around her. She understood the language of the wind, the whispers of the trees, the secrets hidden in the rustling leaves. She felt a kinship with the creatures that roamed the wilderness, their untamed spirits mirroring her own resilience. And it was this connection, this deep-rooted empathy for the wild, that led her to the orphaned wolf cubs, their cries a desperate plea for help, their vulnerability awakening a maternal instinct within her that had lain dormant for years. A chill wind swept through the valley, carrying with it the scent of snow and the mournful howl of a wolf. Martha, bundled in her warmest coat, paused in her task of gathering firewood, her ears attuned to the haunting sound. It was a sound she knew well, a familiar voice in the wilderness symphony. But this howl was different, laced with a desperation that sent a shiver down her spine. It was a cry of loss, a lament that echoed through the canyons, its mournful melody tugging at her heartstrings. Martha, her curiosity piqued, followed the sound, her footsteps crunching on the frozen ground. She navigated the familiar trails, her senses heightened, her instincts guiding her towards the source of the mournful cries. She reached a secluded clearing, a hidden sanctuary nestled amidst a grove of aspen trees. The sight that met her eyes made her heart ache. 2 wolf cubs, no more than a few weeks old, huddled together, their whimpers a symphony of vulnerability and despair. Their fur, a mottled gray and brown, was matted and damp, their eyes wide and fearful, reflected the bleakness of their situation. They were clearly orphaned, their parents nowhere in sight, their cries a desperate plea for help in the vast wilderness. Martha, her heart filled with compassion, approached cautiously, her movements slow and deliberate. She knelt beside the cubs, her voice soft and reassuring. There, little ones, she whispered, her breath forming a cloud in the frigid air. You're not alone. The cubs, startled by her presence, whimpered softly, their bodies trembling with fear. Martha, her heart aching for their vulnerability, reached out a gloved hand, gently stroking their fur. The cubs, sensing her kindness, nuzzled against her touch, their whimpers subsiding into soft whimpers of relief. Martha, her maternal instincts awakened, felt a surge of protectiveness towards these helpless creatures. She knew she couldn't leave them to fend for themselves in the harsh winter wilderness. They were too young, too vulnerable, their chances of survival slim without their parents' guidance and protection. She carefully gathered them into her arms, their small bodies trembling against her warmth. She carried them back to her cabin, her footsteps now lighter, her heart filled with a newfound purpose. She would take them in, these orphaned cubs, these lost souls. She would offer them shelter, nourishment, and the love they so desperately needed. She would become their surrogate mother, their protector, their guide in this vast and unforgiving wilderness. As she reached her cabin, the setting sun casting long shadows across the snow-covered landscape, Martha felt a sense of determination settle over her. She would face the challenges ahead with courage and compassion, her heart guided by the whispers of the wind, her spirit fueled by the unwavering bond she felt with these vulnerable creatures. She would raise them, protect them, and prepare them for the day they would return to the wild, their rightful place in the intricate tapestry of the Wyoming wilderness. And in doing so, she would rediscover a part of herself she thought she had lost, a connection to the wild, a sense of purpose that transcended her own solitary existence. The cabin, usually filled with a quiet solitude, now echoed with the soft whimpers and playful yelps of the wolf cubs. Martha, her heart warmed by their presence, had transformed a corner of her living room into a makeshift den, lining it with soft blankets and furs. She named the cubs Luna and Kai, their names inspired by the moon's gentle glow and the strength of the wind that swept through the canyons. Luna, the smaller of the two, was a delicate creature with a coat as white as the winter snow. Kai, her brother, was bolder and more adventurous, his fur a darker shade of gray, his eyes reflecting a mischievous spark. Martha dedicated herself to their care, her maternal instincts awakened after years of dormancy. She bottle-fed them warm milk, her touch gentle as she cradled their tiny bodies. She cleaned their fur, her hands soothing their whimpers with a mother's touch. She watched over them with a vigilant eye, ensuring their warmth and safety. She would often sit by their makeshift den, her gaze lingering on their peaceful slumber, her heart filled with a love that transcended the boundaries of species. The cubs, in turn, responded to her care with an unwavering trust. They would nuzzle against her hand, their soft fur a comforting warmth against her skin. They would playfully nip at her fingers, their sharp teeth a gentle reminder of their wild nature. They brought a vibrancy to Martha's life, their playful antics filling the cabin with a joyous energy. They would chase each other around the room, their tiny paws patting softly on the wooden floor. They would wrestle playfully, their yelps and growls a symphony of sibling rivalry. Martha, her laughter echoing through the cabin, found herself rediscovering a joy she thought she had lost. The cubs, with their boundless energy and unconditional love, had filled a void in her heart, their presence a constant reminder of the beauty and resilience of life. She would often take them outside, allowing them to explore the snow-covered clearing under her watchful eye. They would tumble in the snow, their fur glistening with icy crystals. They would chase snowflakes, their playful barks echoing through the silent woods. Martha, watching them, felt a deep connection to the wilderness, a kinship with these wild creatures that mirrored her own untamed spirit. She would teach them the names of the trees, the songs of the birds, the secrets hidden in the rustling leaves. She would tell them stories of their parents, their lineage tracing back to the ancient wolves that had roamed these lands for centuries. She would instill in them a respect for the wild, a reverence for the delicate balance of nature. And as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Martha's bond with Luna and Kai deepened, their connection a testament to the enduring power of love, their shared journey a testament to the resilience of the human and animal spirit. Spring arrived in the Wyoming wilderness, painting the landscape in vibrant hues of green and blue. The snow retreated, revealing patches of wildflowers and the rushing waters of the creek that flowed past Martha's cabin. The air was filled with the songs of birds returning from their winter migration, their melodies a symphony of renewal and hope. Luna and Kai, now several months old, had grown into sleek and energetic adolescents. Their playful antics filled Martha's days with laughter and warmth, their presence a constant reminder of the beauty and resilience of life. They would spend their days exploring the meadows surrounding the cabin, their lithe bodies darting through the tall grass, their playful barks echoing through the trees. They would chase butterflies, stalk squirrels, and wrestle with each other, their mock battles a testament to their growing strength and agility. Martha, her heart swelling with pride, watched their transformation from helpless cubs to confident young wolves. She had nurtured them, protected them, and taught them the ways of the wild, instilling in them a respect for the delicate balance of nature. She would often take them on long walks through the forest, their keen senses guiding them through the intricate network of trails. She would point out the different species of trees, the wildflowers blooming in vibrant hues, the birds soaring overhead. She would teach them the names of the animals they encountered, the deer grazing peacefully in the meadows, the elk bugling in the distance, the eagles soaring majestically against the backdrop of the vast sky. She would share her knowledge of the wilderness, her voice a gentle whisper in the quiet woods, her words weaving a tapestry of stories and legends that captured the cubs' imagination. Luna and Kai, their minds eager to learn, absorbed her teachings with an unwavering attention. They would listen intently, their heads tilted, their eyes reflecting the wisdom of their human mother. They would often bring her gifts, a feather dropped by a passing bird, a shiny stone discovered by the creek, a wildflower plucked from the meadow. Their offerings, though simple, were tokens of their affection, their way of expressing their gratitude for her love and care. Martha, her heart touched by their gestures, would treasure these gifts, placing them on the mantelpiece alongside John's photographs, a collection of memories that spoke of the interconnectedness of life, the enduring bond between humans and animals. As the days grew longer and the summer sun warmed the land, Martha began to prepare the cubs for their eventual return to the wild. She knew that their true home lay beyond the confines of her clearing, that their instincts would eventually lead them back to their rightful place in the wilderness. She would take them on longer expeditions, venturing deeper into the forest, allowing them to explore the untamed territories, to hone their hunting skills, to develop their instincts for survival. She would watch them with a mixture of pride and sadness, her heart aching at the thought of their departure, but her spirit soaring with the knowledge that she had played a part in their journey, that she had given them the tools they needed to thrive in the wild. And as the summer sun reached its zenith, casting a golden glow over the Wyoming wilderness, Martha knew that the time had come to say goodbye, to release her beloved cubs back into the embrace of the wild, their untamed spirits forever bound to her heart. The summer sun cast long shadows across the meadow as Martha led Luna and Kai towards the edge of the forest. A lump formed in her throat, her heart heavy with the bittersweet knowledge that this was goodbye. She had nurtured them, loved them, and prepared them for this moment, yet the thought of releasing them into the wild filled her with a profound sense of loss. Luna and Kai, now nearly fully grown, sensed the shift in her demeanor. They lingered by her side, their playful energy subdued, their eyes reflecting a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. They had never ventured beyond the familiar boundaries of Martha's clearing, the forest beyond holding both allure and uncertainty. Martha knelt before them, her hands gently stroking their fur, her voice thick with emotion. "It's time, my darlings," she whispered, her words catching in her throat. "It's time for you to return to your true home." Luna and Kai nuzzled against her touch, their warmth a comforting reassurance. They had known no other mother, no other home than the one she had provided. But their wild instincts, dormant for so long, now stirred within them, urging them towards the untamed freedom of the forest. Martha, with a heavy heart, removed the collars she had fashioned for them, symbols of their temporary domesticity. She watched as they shook their heads, their fur rippling in the sunlight, their movements imbued with a newfound sense of liberation. She pointed towards the dense undergrowth, the gateway to their ancestral domain. "Go," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "Go and live your lives, wild and free." Luna and Kai hesitated for a moment, their eyes meeting hers with a lingering affection. Then, with a sudden burst of energy, they bounded into the forest, their lithe bodies disappearing into the shadows, their howls echoing through the trees, a farewell symphony that resonated with both joy and sorrow. Martha stood at the edge of the clearing, her gaze fixed on the point where they had vanished. Tears streamed down her face, tracing paths through the wrinkles etched by time and experience. She had given them their freedom, fulfilled her promise to return them to the wild, yet the silence that now enveloped her was deafening. She returned to her cabin, its emptiness amplified by their absence. The playful barks, the gentle nudges, the comforting warmth of their presence were now mere echoes in the quiet rooms. She wandered through the cabin, her touch lingering on the objects they had interacted with, the worn rug where they had napped, the toys they had chewed, the windowsill where they had watched the world outside. She sat by the fireplace, the flames dancing in the hearth, their warmth a pale imitation of the comfort she had found in their companionship. She gazed at their photographs, capturing their playful antics, their innocent eyes, their unwavering trust. The days that followed were filled with a profound sense of loss. Martha went about her daily routine, her movements mechanical, her heart heavy with longing. The silence of the cabin was a constant reminder of their absence, their playful spirits now roaming free in the vast wilderness. But even in her grief, Martha found solace in the memories they had created, the bond they had shared, the knowledge that she had played a part in their journey, that she had given them the tools they needed to thrive in their rightful home. And as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Martha's sadness gradually transformed into a quiet acceptance, a bittersweet gratitude for the time they had shared, a profound understanding of the cyclical nature of life, the ebb and flow of connection and separation. Time, like the flowing river, carried Martha onward, its currents shaping her life, its rhythms echoing the cycles of nature. The seasons changed, painting the Wyoming landscape in a kaleidoscope of colors, each transition a reminder of the passage of time, the ebb and flow of life. Spring brought a renewal of life, the meadows bursting with wildflowers, the trees adorned with fresh green leaves. The air was filled with the songs of birds, their melodies a symphony of hope and rebirth. Martha, her heart still carrying the echoes of Luna and Kai's absence, found solace in the vibrant awakening of nature. She tended to her garden, her hands coaxing life from the fertile soil, her spirit finding a quiet rhythm in the familiar tasks. She would often wander through the woods, her footsteps following the paths she had once shared with the wolf cubs. She would pause, her gaze drawn to the places where they had played, their playful barks and joyful yelps now mere echoes in her memory. She would sit by the creek, its waters gurgling over the rocks, their melody a soothing balm to her soul. She would watch the fish darting through the clear water, their movements a reminder of the constant flow of life, the ever-changing dance of nature. Summer brought warmth and abundance, the days long and sun-drenched, the nights filled with the chirping of crickets and the soft glow of fireflies. Martha, her spirit rejuvenated by the warmth of the sun, spent her days tending to her garden, her hands calloused but gentle as she nurtured the growing plants. She would often sit on her porch in the evenings, a book in her lap, her gaze drawn to the distant mountains, their peaks silhouetted against the fiery sunset. She would remember the days she had spent with Luna and Kai, their playful antics, their unconditional love, their wild spirits forever etched in her heart. Autumn painted the landscape in a tapestry of fiery hues, the leaves of the aspen trees shimmering in shades of gold and crimson. The air grew crisp, the days shorter, and a sense of melancholy settled over the land, mirroring the quietude within Martha's heart. She would gather firewood, her axe splitting the logs with a practiced ease, the rhythmic thud a comforting counterpoint to the whispering wind. She would prepare her cabin for the approaching winter, stocking up on provisions, securing the shutters, her movements imbued with a sense of solitary preparedness. The evenings grew longer, the fire in the hearth casting dancing shadows on the walls. Martha would often sit by the fire, her gaze lost in the flames, her thoughts drifting back to the days she had shared with the wolf cubs. She would remember their playful nips, their gentle nudges, their comforting warmth on cold winter nights. She would recall the day she had released them into the wild, their howls echoing through the trees, a farewell symphony that still resonated in her heart. Winter arrived, blanketing the landscape in a pristine white. The silence of the snow-covered world was profound, broken only by the occasional crackle of a branch or the distant call of a raven. Martha, her cabin a haven of warmth and solitude, embraced the season with a quiet acceptance. She would spend her days reading, her mind wandering through the pages of well-worn novels or the corridors of her memories. She would knit by the fire, her needles clicking rhythmically, creating warm garments for the approaching cold. She would often gaze out the window, watching the snow fall gently, its silent descent a reminder of the passage of time, the cyclical nature of life. She would think of Luna and Kai, imagining them navigating the winter wilderness, their instincts guiding them, their spirits as resilient as the pines that weathered the storms. And as the years passed, Martha continued to live her solitary life, her heart filled with the memories of the wolf cubs, their presence forever etched in her soul, their wild spirits a constant reminder of the beauty and resilience of the natural world. One particularly harsh winter, a blizzard of unprecedented ferocity swept through the Wyoming wilderness, blanketing the landscape in a thick shroud of snow. The wind howled with a vengeance, its icy breath chilling the air to the bone. The snow fell relentlessly, piling up against Martha's cabin, obscuring the familiar landmarks. Martha, now in her 80s, but still possessing a resilient spirit, had prepared for the storm as best she could. She had stocked up on firewood, gathered provisions, and secured her cabin against the elements. But even her years of experience in the wilderness couldn't fully prepare her for the ferocity of this blizzard. As the storm raged outside, Martha tended to her fire, its warmth a beacon against the encroaching cold. She moved about her daily tasks, her movements slower now, her joints aching with the dampness, but her spirit undeterred. While venturing out to gather more firewood from the woodshed, a misstep on the icy path sent her tumbling to the ground. A sharp pain shot through her ankle, and she cried out, her voice swallowed by the howling wind. She tried to get up, but the pain was excruciating. She had sprained her ankle, perhaps even broken it. Panic clawed at her, the realization of her vulnerability hitting her with the force of the blizzard itself. She was alone, injured, and stranded in the midst of a raging storm. Her cabin, though a mere few yards away, seemed an insurmountable distance. She called for help, her voice a faint cry against the wind's fury, but her pleas were lost in the vast expanse of the wilderness. As the snow continued to fall, blanketing her in a white shroud, Martha's hope dwindled. The cold seeped into her bones, her shivering growing more violent with each passing hour. She closed her eyes, her mind drifting back to the days she had shared with Luna and Kai, their warmth and companionship a distant memory. She thought of John, her beloved husband, his face etched in her memory, his love a beacon in the darkness. She whispered a prayer, her voice barely audible, a plea for strength, for resilience, for a miracle. As the night deepened, the storm intensified, The wind howled relentlessly, the snow piling up around her, threatening to engulf her completely. Martha, her body succumbing to the cold, her consciousness fading, felt a sense of resignation settle over her. She had lived a long life, a life filled with love, loss, and the profound beauty of the wilderness. She had found solace in nature's embrace, her spirit mirroring its resilience, her heart echoing its untamed rhythm. And as she drifted towards unconsciousness, a single tear traced a path down her weathered cheek, a testament to a life well lived, a life intertwined with the wild, a life that had come full circle in the heart of the Wyoming wilderness. The blizzard raged through the night, its fury unabated. The wind howled like a tormented spirit, whipping the snow into a frenzy that obscured all landmarks, erasing the familiar paths and trails that crisscrossed the wilderness. Within the depths of the storm, two figures moved with a determined grace, their powerful bodies navigating the treacherous terrain with an innate knowledge of the land. Luna and Kai, now magnificent adult wolves, their coats thick and silver against the white backdrop, were driven by an instinctual pull, a primal urge that defied the blizzard's wrath. They had roamed the wilderness for years, their lives a tapestry of hunts, chases, and the intricate dance of survival in the wild. They had formed their own pack, their bond as siblings a powerful force that guided their every move. But tonight, something was different. A familiar scent, faint but undeniable, carried on the wind, tugged at their primal instincts, awakening a memory buried deep within their subconscious. It was the scent of their human mother, Martha, the woman who had nurtured them, protected them, and released them into the wild. The scent was laced with a note of distress, a subtle undercurrent of vulnerability that sent a shiver down their spines. They had not forgotten the kindness, the warmth, the love they had received in her care. And now their instincts told them she was in danger. They followed the scent, their powerful legs carrying them through the snowdrifts, their keen senses guiding them towards the source of their concern. The blizzard raged around them, but their determination was unwavering, their loyalty to their human mother a force that defied the elements. As they approached Martha's cabin, the scent grew stronger, the note of distress more pronounced. They circled the cabin, their wolfish instincts assessing the situation, their hearts pounding with a mixture of anxiety and protectiveness. They found her lying in the snow, her body partially buried by the drifting snow, her form still and lifeless. A whimper escaped Luna's lips, a sound of anguish that echoed Kai's own concern. They approached cautiously, their movements gentle, their instincts tempered by a deep-seated affection for the woman who had once been their protector. They nudged her gently with their snouts, their warm breath thawing the ice that had formed on her face. Martha stirred, her eyes fluttering open, her gaze meeting the intense amber eyes of the wolves. A wave of disbelief washed over her, followed by a surge of warmth and gratitude. Luna and Kai, her wolf children, had returned. They had braved the blizzard, defied the odds, to find her, their loyalty transcending the years, their bond as strong as the wilderness that had shaped them. A weak smile touched her lips, her heart filled with a love that defied the boundaries of species, a connection that echoed the ancient rhythm of the wild. Luna and Kai, sensing her vulnerability, nestled close to her, their bodies shielding her from the biting wind, their warmth a lifeline in the freezing night. They licked her face, their rough tongues a gentle caress, their presence a beacon of hope in the midst of despair. Martha, her strength renewed by their presence, her spirit lifted by their unwavering loyalty, knew she was not alone. She had faced the wilderness's fury countless times, but this time, she had allies, guardians, her wolf children, who had returned to repay the kindness she had once shown them. And as the blizzard raged around them, their howls joining the symphony of the wind, a sense of peace settled over Martha. She was not alone. She was home, in the heart of the wild, surrounded by the love and loyalty of the creatures she had once nurtured, their bond a testament to the enduring power of connection, the enduring magic of the wilderness. The blizzard raged on, its icy breath testing the limits of endurance. But within its fierce embrace, a different kind of storm brewed, a storm of emotions, of instincts, of the unwavering bond between a woman and her wolf children. Luna and Kai, their protective instincts heightened, refused to leave Martha's side. They huddled around her, their bodies forming a living shield against the biting wind, their warmth a lifeline in the freezing night. They took turns venturing out, their keen senses navigating the treacherous terrain, searching for any sign of shelter, any respite from the blizzard's fury. They returned with news of a small cave, hidden amongst the rocks, a potential haven from the storm's wrath. With a combined effort, they nudged and coaxed Martha towards the cave, their powerful bodies supporting her weight, their gentle movements ensuring her safety. The journey was arduous, the snow deep and treacherous, but their determination was unwavering, their loyalty to their human mother a guiding force. They reached the cave, its entrance partially obscured by a curtain of ice and snow. Kai, with his powerful paws, cleared the entrance, creating a passage into the relative warmth of the cavern. Inside, the air was still and damp, the temperature a welcome contrast to the biting wind outside. Luna and Kai, their bodies exhausted but their spirits alert, settled around Martha, their warmth radiating a comforting reassurance. Martha, her ankle throbbing with pain, her body shivering with cold, leaned against the cave wall, her gaze fixed on the wolves, her heart filled with gratitude. They had saved her, these magnificent creatures, their instincts guiding them, their loyalty unwavering. She spoke to them, her voice hoarse but filled with affection, recounting the day she had found them, their helpless whimpers echoing in her memory. She told them of the joy they had brought into her life, the laughter they had shared, the lessons they had taught her. Luna and Kai, though unable to understand her words, sensed her emotions, their heads tilted in quiet understanding, their eyes reflecting the warmth of the firelight. They nuzzled against her, their fur a comforting blanket against the cold, their presence a testament to the enduring bond they shared. As the blizzard raged outside, the cave became their sanctuary, her wolf children by her side, their loyalty a beacon in the storm. They shared their meager rations, the wolves offering her the spoils of their recent hunt, a gesture of reciprocity that touched Martha's heart. They huddled together for warmth, their bodies a symphony of shared breath and heartbeat, their connection a testament to the enduring power of love and loyalty. And as the storm raged on, their howls echoing through the canyons, a symphony of survival and resilience, Martha knew that she was not merely a woman sheltered in a cave, but a part of something larger, a part of the wild, a part of the intricate tapestry of life that connected her to these magnificent creatures, her wolf children, her saviors in the storm. Dawn broke, painting the snow-covered landscape in hues of pink and gold. The blizzard had subsided, leaving behind a world transformed, a pristine canvas of white stretching as far as the eye could see. Within the cave, a sense of calm had settled. Martha, her ankle throbbing but her spirits lifted, watched as Luna and Kai emerged from their slumber, their movements a symphony of grace and power. They greeted her with gentle nudges and soft whimpers, their concern for her well-being evident in their amber eyes. Martha, her heart filled with gratitude, reached out to stroke their fur, her touch a silent reassurance of their shared bond. The wolves, sensing the need for sustenance, ventured out into the newly transformed landscape, their hunting instincts honed by years of survival in the wild. They returned with a rabbit, a gift of nourishment for their human mother, a gesture of reciprocity that spoke volumes about their loyalty and affection. Martha, her strength renewed by their care, managed to hobble out of the cave, her gaze sweeping across the breathtaking vista. The sun glistened on the snow-covered pines, the air was crisp and invigorating, and the silence was broken only by the gentle chirping of birds welcoming the new day. She leaned against a rock, her gaze fixed on the wolves as they devoured their meal, their powerful bodies a testament to the resilience of nature, their presence a reminder of the interconnectedness of life. She thought of John, her beloved husband, his spirit forever intertwined with the wilderness, his love for the wild echoing in the howls of the wolves. She felt his presence in the gentle breeze, in the warmth of the sun on her face, in the unwavering loyalty of the creatures she had nurtured. Luna and Kai, their meal finished, approached Martha, their eyes filled with a gentle concern. They nudged her gently, urging her to follow them, their instincts guiding them towards her cabin, towards warmth and safety. The journey back was slow and arduous, Martha's injured ankle hindering her progress. But the wolves remained by her side, their patience unwavering, their support a testament to the depth of their bond. They reached the cabin, its snow-covered roof a welcome sight against the backdrop of the winter landscape. Kai, with his powerful paws, cleared the snow from the doorway, creating a passage into the warmth and comfort within. Martha, her body weary but her spirit lifted, entered the cabin, the familiar scent of pine and wood smoke filling her senses. She settled into her armchair by the fire, its warmth radiating a comforting embrace. Luna and Kai curled up at her feet, their presence a soothing balm to her soul. They had saved her, these magnificent creatures, their loyalty transcending the years, their bond a testament to the enduring power of love and connection. As the days turned into weeks, Martha's ankle healed, her strength gradually returning. But the experience had left an indelible mark on her heart, a profound understanding of the interconnectedness of life, the cyclical nature of nature, the enduring power of love. She would often gaze out the window, watching Luna and Kai as they roamed the wilderness, their wild spirits a constant reminder of the beauty and resilience of the natural world. She would remember the day they had returned to her, their howls echoing through the blizzard, their presence a beacon of hope in her darkest hour. And she would cherish the memories of their time together, the laughter they had shared, the lessons they had taught her, the love that had bound them together, a love that transcended the boundaries of species, a love that echoed the ancient rhythm of the wild. The old woman and the wolves, their lives intertwined by fate, their bond a testament to the enduring power of compassion and connection, had come full circle, their story a poignant reminder of the beauty and resilience of life in the heart of the Wyoming wilderness.